Hi, everyone. I'm Rena Ninen. Thank you for joining us. Another key witness in House Democrats' impeachment inquiry into President Trump is testifying today. Bill Taylor is appearing before several House committees. He's a top U.S. diplomat to Ukraine. Sources tell CBS News that Taylor's 15-page opening statement was, quote, damning and very dramatic. They also say that there were sighs and gasps from both Democrats and Republicans. Democrats are speaking with Taylor after he exchanged a series of texts with U.S. Ambassador to the EU, Gordon Sondland. Taylor wrote, "I think it's crazy to withhold security assistance for help with a political campaign." He's referring to a call made by President Trump to Ukraine's leader back in July. I want to bring in CBS News Capitol Hill producer Rebecca Kaplan, who joins us now. So, Rebecca, what have you heard from lawmakers about Taylor's testimony?
Well, there was quite the stir when lawmakers came out of this testimony today, and we heard immediately that this had been kind of shocking. Damning was one word used by a source in the room. Devastating to the president was what California Democrat Ted Lieu told me. Another, Andy Levin of Michigan, said that this was one of the most disturbing things he has heard in his admittedly short time in Congress. He's only been here since January, but it really did seem to cause quite a stir. And what lawmakers have told us is that the testimony today really filled in a lot of gaps in the story that other witnesses may not have known. And what they said is that the diplomat testifying here, Bill Taylor, who's the top diplomat in Ukraine at the moment, was really an expert and lifelong note taker. He was very meticulous in recording every phone call, every conversation he had at the time. And that means that now he seems very credible to lawmakers because he has a very good record of everything he saw and heard over the past 6 months, really over his entire time in the country.
And so what are Democrats saying about this? Do they believe this is solid evidence of a quid pro quo?
Well, Democrats all along have had the theory that this was a quid pro quo, not even relying necessarily on the witnesses who've come to testify privately. They say that when President Trump said to President Zelensky in the phone call, "Do us a favor," and brought up these investigations that he wanted into the 2016 election and into Burisma, this company of which his political rival Joe Biden's son Hunter sat on the board, that right there is evidence of quid pro quo. And they also point to a holdup in foreign assistance to Ukraine to say that all this was evidence that the administration was trying to get the Ukrainians to give them political help. So that's been their theory all along. Now, what today's testimony probably does is to further help them build that case. And one thing that we have heard is that because this particular diplomat, Bill Taylor, has been so detailed, so thorough, he was able to potentially expose gaps or fill in the holes in testimony from other witnesses. And one of those that immediately comes to people's minds is Ambassador Sondland, the president's ambassador to the European Union. He's a political appointee and testified before these committees last week. Now, Sondland was the one who said to Bill Taylor in a text message, there is no quid pro quo, and that has backed up Republicans who've argued that there is no quid pro quo. But it seems like this may be raising some questions about what Sondland actually knew and when he knew it.
And what about Republicans? Are they having the same reaction to Taylor's testimony as Democrats?
Definitely not. They have come out of the room so far, and Mark Meadows, a Republican from North Carolina, one of the president's top allies up here on Capitol Hill, was quick to say, once again, no quid pro quo, and anyone in that room who is intellectually honest could not possibly say that there was quid pro quo. So this goes back to a fundamental difference here that we've seen throughout this entire investigation. Democrats see a quid pro quo, Republicans see no quid pro quo, and so far, neither side is really budging to move towards the other one.
All right, Rebecca Kaplan, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.